Hello everyone, this is January 1st and you're watching our first POC Q&A session of the year 2014. Welcome back. Today we're gonna have a couple of POCs and we can start with the introductions right away. Take it away, Michael.
Hi, actually, wait, can we start over? It seemed like, were you recording that whole time when there was just nothing happening?
Oh yeah, sure.
That doesn't seem like anyone would, yeah.
Okay, we can start again, sure. Yeah, I did that on purpose, basically, to give Sean some room in the beginning when he downloads so that he can kind of cut whenever.
Okay. All right, cool. Okay, so so it can still be edited. All right, sorry about
that. Yeah. No, that's okay. It's okay. Let's just start. Now it's better because we had a little laugh, so that's good. Okay. So Sean, we're gonna start again. Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to the first POC Q&A session of the year 2014. This is January 5th, Sunday seminar, and we're going to be answering some of your questions from last year. Let's start with the introductions first. Michael?
I'm Michael Jordan, a POC for California.
Hey guys, my name is Rashad Hill and I am a POC for Illinois of the United States.
Alright, and I'm the POC for Slovenia, and we're going to start with some news and updates before we start. So since it's the new year, we do have some, which is always good. The first thing that I wanted to talk to you about is that TVP Education and the Sunday seminars, one of which you're looking at right now, has a crowdfunding campaign, which is still going on for the next 5 days. So you're welcome to donate. TVP Education, Sean in particular, is looking for some funding for video camera, for green screen and things like that. So hopefully we can make these seminars a little better for all of you guys out there. We're gonna copy and paste the link for that campaign down in the description, so please check it out. All right, another new thing that is going on this year is we have a new editorial department of TVP Media, and they're looking for editors, proofreaders, and writers to do some official TVP stuff, such as for the TVP. I lost the word there. Sorry. For the TVP magazine. Yeah, there we go. So you guys can also contact them on editorial.tvpmedia@thevenusproject.com, and that link is also going to be down in the description. Okay, where do we go from here? Oh, TeamSpeak.
Yeah, sorry, my microphone button stuck. Anyway, yeah, we also recommend joining us with TeamSpeak on Sundays if you have any other questions or feel like learning more or participating. It's a great place to meet other people who understand all these things and yeah, to learn more, which is what we are all about.
Yeah, and if you guys have any questions regarding questions we're about to answer, you know, like this following next minutes, or you know, if you feel as though your questions weren't answered that well, you can contact admin@tvpactivism.com, and you know, we'll get to your responses as quick as possible.
Yeah, that's right. Rashad, I'm going to ask you to shout a little more in the microphone. You're kind of a little low, maybe just for me, but to be on the safe side. All right. One thing before we start, and we've tried to periodically talk about this. Every time you guys post for the Q&A, we open up a new Google moderator. Try and make those questions as precise as possible. You know, try to kind of pin us down with the topic, because if it's very broad and if it's if it doesn't have any references, it's kind of hard for us to really answer. So even though there's, people vote for those questions and whatnot, we still kind of go through them and really look for the ones that we can answer and know for sure that we were talking about the right stuff. So please be as descriptive as possible in the given amount of characters, but still, we did have some of them that were very good ones right now with references to video links and whatnot. So keep that up. That's a very good way to go. Okay, and we can start with the questions. First one is, how does one get the opportunity to be in a position like yourself regarding TVP? Well, any position in TVP. This is from John J. from New York.
And the answer is, like many other answers we give, education is key. Studying the Venus Project website, YouTube channels. There's so much variety and breadth of information and sources that are out there. And not just the Venus Project. I would say in order to understand the Venus Project, you can't just study the Venus Project. You have to study many other sources and in many other fields in order to understand the concepts. But it is such a great accumulation of those resources that it kind of leads you into learning all of those relevant fields. But yeah, the more you learn and the more you participate, again, joining us through the various medium like TeamSpeak and Skype and Google Hangouts and Facebook, whatever your access availability is, we recommend just listening first, and then the more you listen and learn, the more you'll be able to participate and meaningfully.
Exactly, yeah. And a good start is just posting these questions that you guys post here. So that's already a good start. Okay, next question is in the minute 6:13. This is going to be a video link that's going to be posted down. So from this link at 6:13, Jacque says about today, money resource equivalence is not accomplished. And the question is, will it be attained in some moment of the transition? And this is from Ignacio and Santiago. Just before we answer, the actual direct quote is, unfortunately, money doesn't represent things in existence.
Which is true. So, yeah, I was going to put that. Let's see. So, I mean, money has no intrinsic value, so, when we do the survey of all of the Earth's resources, those resources will be allocated and used accordingly to how, whatever resources we have. So the focus wouldn't be on trying to make some kind of money resource equivalence. The focus would be to use those resources intelligently. And so, money would eventually be phased out, since that's the part of the, the goal anyway, to attain a resource-based economy. I mean, and you can see through various talks and things like that money is becoming less and less of an equivalence. We have people who have like billions of dollars and trillions of dollars in debt. Like, what does that represent? What does that mean? This is all digital paper nothingness. So that's how I would respond to that question.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think we're actually quite rapidly going in the other direction, like Rashad says, where there's money is less and less a representative of actual things. And well, yeah. Okay, next one is number 3. How is a day in TVP Research Center? There's a lot of material of TVP culture and technical details, but not this. This is also from Ignacio in Santiago. Well, actually, we do have material on that as well. So we found the Venus Project tour, which is a clip of about half an hour. I think it was done as one of the Sunday seminars. And we're going to paste that link down in the description so you can go to it. it shows the whole daily tour that they do on Saturdays. So you can see just about, well, everything, how it is there. But in all actual fact, none of the three of us have been to Venus, Florida yet. So we can't really say out of our own experience. But from what I've heard from one of my best friends who was there, is that I should go. He said, just go because you need to see this. Yeah. So other than that, I don't know what to tell you. There's also a link on the main page that is tours, where you can also check out a little shorter link, maybe 5 minutes or so. And there's also written material on what they do there. So there is info on that, and you can find it, and you can find it in the description.
And the great thing about the state of technology as it is that people have shared all these videos of their trips there. Just YouTube, Venus Project Tour, and you'll see people's experiences there. And yeah, it's not the same as actually being there yourself, but it's a pretty good approximation, and it gives you a general idea. Really useful.
Yes, exactly. That's a very good point. Okay, next one is number 4. Jacque has said on several occasions that he prefers the first city to be in the tropics. With all the open pools of water, how will the residents of the city be protected from disease like malaria, etc., which are caused by water-loving parasites? This is a question from Tom Brent in Dallas.
I think I'll take this. So, if I'm going to assume that we are building. This is like building the first city. So, what I would say is, if we're building the city, all these measures would be taken into account. Like if it's built in the tropics, we'd probably need more solar panels and like more ways to capture the sun's energy. And so, following that same pattern, they would account for what kind of bugs are in that area, animals, so to speak. And so the mosquitoes or whatever else can spread these diseases would be taken care of. Jacque has mentioned in video before, I think it was the London tour, where there would be like a color band in the water, and it would attract certain bugs and attract into the water, and they would drown, and the fish would be able to eat that. And that's one method. I mean, there's also possibilities of sound deterrents to prevent bugs from spreading. And then I think there's also shots for immunity to diseases like malaria. So there would be a lot of defenses at our disposal, especially if we start working towards the resource-based economy and building the first city. These things would be taken into account.
Great answer. You've seen some of the technical solutions. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Also, it's just it also depends obviously on the part of the world. I mean, in deserts there'd be different problems, and in cold areas there'd be different problems again. So, yeah, we would definitely try to prepare for anything that nature can throw at us there, and possibly use it to our advantage, which is what I think Jacque's designs are about, to try and use just anything. Okay, next one. Number 5. Proponents of privately owned property say that without property rights, we have no rights at all. How would you respond to that? This is from Roy.
Well, what do you mean by rights and property? It's a difficult question, because people are conditioned and bred to uphold these property rights, and this statement is kind of proof of that. It kind of intrinsically ties our rights to property, making us think that, well, that's what we need, when property is something that is owned and controlled by others. So what we really want is access to something. We want security and housing, clothing, shelter, all these different real necessities of life. And property evolved under scarcity and ignorance-based conditions when we all had to stake out a certain territory and defend it and all that. And that has consequences. You sacrifice. You're limited to a very small location, and as opposed to this, where we've created abundance, and you can pretty much go many more places now, thanks to transportation, evolution, and all that. But yeah, sorry, I'm kind of off track. It's difficult to talk about all these different subjects at the same time. But yeah, we see access beating ownership as far as the benefits that it gives us, because you can't. I mean, you can only be in a property for a certain amount of time, and then when you're not there, owning it is kind of useless. I mean, you don't really. You want to go different places, and if you're tied to a singular place, then you're much more limited.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and I think that's part of the question that we need to ask ourselves is, in what kind of a world would private property not come into existence? And I think that if you ask yourself that, then you would come to a conclusion or to the answer that you want to provide abundance, you want to provide enough for everyone living in a certain area, and once you do that, the likelihood of somebody staking claim to a part of the land or tree or whatever wouldn't really come into existence. So I think that's kind of the answer that or how Jacque arrived at that particular answer.
Yeah, it's just as violence and crime are reduced as abundance is created, so are ownership and all these other different values.
Yeah, exactly, and just like the libraries were fought, once when they tried to open up libraries, people were fighting against that. I think that there was actually women's marches that were held for opening the libraries, and people said, well, if you were going to open libraries, nobody's going to read books anymore or buy books anymore, which is a bigger concern. Which was actually which was very controversial, and then in the long run that it showed that actually the book sales went up after libraries were introduced. So this is all kind of fighting against something until you accept it and see the benefits, and I think that's kind of the same thing with private property.
Yeah, and if you own a book, or if you own many books, all the books you've ever read, that takes up a lot of space. And now, fortunately, again, thanks to evolutions in technology, we have Kindles and things like that, where it's much more digital and smaller, more compact. And again, it's not that you need to necessarily own that thing; it's that you want access to it when you want it.
Yeah. Good point. All right, next one. Next one is number 6, and this is a very interesting question. If any TVP member damages the image of the organization, how would be the interaction between TVP organization and that member? This is from Ignacio and Santiago. I'm going to try and answer this one, and maybe Michael and Rashad are going to give me some help. But first of all, TVP has supporters, so there is no official membership where you sign a document saying that you are an official member. So this is not something that is regulated in any way by any agreement or law. So we do have problems along the lines of what you're saying. So yes, there are people who maybe didn't understand enough about the Venus project and had their own conclusions about it, and then try to make some of their own movements or whatnot. We've seen this in the past, and this is something that's pretty hard to kind of go against. I think that the big big part of the answer how we do that is actually education. Is these seminars? It's the seminars that we hold for the points of contact and for just all the education stuff that we put out. I think that when people would get more or better quality information on what the Venus Project is about, I think it would be harder to misinterpret it or to take it any other way or things like that. But I think that as far as legal issues of interaction between the Venus Project and supporters or someone that would want to hurt the Venus Project or whatever you want to call it is very limited, and it's only been used if there's a copyright infringement on some of the materials or such as photos or Jacque's designs or things like that. But for the most part, as you know, almost everything is free to see, to download, to distribute. So there isn't actually a lot of things that can be misused, I guess, if you can say that. But there's definitely a concern of people trying to, well, people just using the Venus Project's name for their own purposes, which is something that we don't really like, obviously. Do you guys have anything else to add, or was I making any sense?
Yeah, that's one of the dangerous things about learning a little bit about something and not fully understanding it, is that you could misrepresent and abuse it and not accurately portray it. So again, in order to more thoroughly understand these concepts, it takes a little while to study them.
Yeah, and just maybe in closing, just about interaction between TVP and the supporters. We are available on emails or on Facebook or in all sorts of platforms. So there is, I mean, we always try to resolve things with dialogue. We always try to contact people, ask them, why this, why that, or ask them if they would like to actually participate with the Venus Project, or if they would like, to participate with TVP activism or with the point of contact in their country. Try to get them involved in the community. But bottom line is, if they don't want to do any of that, then we can't. There isn't really much more than we can do. We can just ask all the people out there who are interested in the Venus Project to try and contact us directly. So contact people within the Venus Project to get relevant information, instead of joining all sorts of groups who are resource-based economy something or other, which is not always the best way to get information. Okay, if we're done with that, we have one more question, and then we'll wrap it up. And the last one is number 7. Has TVP thought about making a simplified video series for people who want a simpler answer, and a more detailed and technical video series for those who really want to know what a resource-based economy is and how it operates? We would put it in the forefront. This is from James O'Brien in Ohio.
As far as the detailed and technical video series, there is something like that already. There is the DVD series, the DVD lecture series, which Sasha is holding up right now.
Yep.
And you can purchase that on TVP's website.
Right here.
Yep. And I've had the pleasure of actually being able to listen to some of them, and he goes into a lot more detail and gets technical with a lot of different areas. So I haven't had the opportunity to buy it yet, but it's that's definitely a really good option for the detailed and technical video series. As far as simple, I honestly don't know how you can get any more simpler than like the material that's already out there for free. there's the TVP's main YouTube channel, which has like a lot of the clips, you know, from the lecture series, but you know, they're like the clips that, you know, can get you a good start as far as understanding things. Because I mean, this is basically what, you know, I basically sat down with, you know, during like my 2 to 3 years of trying to study and understand, you know, different concepts and social aspects. Like I basically have watched all of what's on the TVP's YouTube channel. So, and I think that's really good. And there's also cartoons, and you know, people do animations. I have a link to one that's called The Bit of Getting Angry, and it's done in a cartoon way, and it's done in a way where, you know, could be understood pretty well about, you know, getting angry and stuff like that, which there will be a link for in the description. So there's that. And then yeah, I don't know if any of you guys have anything to add to that.
Yeah, that's a good one, and it's a confusing title. Again, it's hard to peg down all of these ideas because they encompass so many different things. It's not just about getting angry; it's about love and relationships and all these different concepts. But yeah, it's a really simple, straightforward way of explaining things that most people should be able to understand. So there's all sorts of, you know, versions and levels of things out there that we, you know, share, and the more variety of them you see, the more tools you have.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And maybe just in closing, I wanted to go into a couple of other things as far as education goes. Obviously, Rashad was already talking about the main YouTube channel. There's also the TVP Education YouTube channel, where you have all these videos right here that we do, all the POC Q&As and all the Sunday seminars. So there's a lot of material there as well. And also there's two educational courses that we have right now, and one is the mentor course, which you can see online, and we're going to link that down in the description as well, which is something that is run by Philip Ivanov. And the first part of the mentor course is a 12-week, well, it's meant to be 12 weeks, but you can stretch it out for a longer period if you need. Basically, it's 12-part foundation course where you go through all the free materials and one of the free online books, and you get to talk to Philip in maybe 1 or 2 hour sessions. So you can ask questions about all different subjects and topics, and you get a lot of links to go through on your own and things like that. So it's a great course. You can also do that. If you want to do that, you can contact Philip directly on his email, which is philipivanov@thevenusproject.com. We're going to link that down there as well. And the POC orientation, which is how we get new points of contact who want to join us and basically do what we do, try to coordinate locally with the groups. So for me in Slovenia, for the other guys wherever they are, and also if there's not a point of contact yet in your country, you can basically be the first one to start. Well, actually, both Michael and Rashad last year did the POC orientation group, so maybe if you got a couple of words, or you can just let everyone know how that went for you.
Well, I will start by saying, you know, for me, it started as, you know, wanting to get more information, or it got to a point where I was like, okay, so I think I know enough about TVP, and you know, I'm already talking to people about it. I mean, I haven't done any speeches or anything, or, you know, like stood up in front of a bunch of people and talked about it, but, you know, I felt confident enough that, you know, that I will talk to others about it, and so I I posted around on the Facebook group. What can I do to, to test my knowledge of the Venus Project, or what can I do to learn more? And Sue contacted me, and from there they told me about the POC orientation, and I was in there for about 3 months, and during those 3 months I was able to listen to some of these DVD lectures that we discussed earlier, and got a chance to ask my own questions, and I got a chance to answer emails and other things, to try to help people understand this direction a little more, and got a little more engaged with, the actual workings of this huge volunteer group that's doing what they can to, to change the world. So if you're really interested in helping out and trying to make a difference, I will definitely implore you to check out the orientation group, and be patient with it, and understand that all we can do right now is just basically learn more, take up a subject that you like. I'm gonna get into computers, which may prove to help out the Venus Project later, and I mean it'll work in my real life. So and what else was I gonna say? And the other thing is, we can just really just spread information about it, and just familiarize yourself with TVP, and you won't regret it or anything like that. It's really awesome to get to be part of this community who's trying to help one another out. So I would, that's what I have to say about it. It's been an awesome thing, and here I am now helping others, trying to understand the TVP more and the RBE. So
yeah, I mean, it's given me so much that I can't help but want to give back to it, and that's, again, we feel like that kind of proves that this stuff works. I mean, if there's a system that takes care of you and teaches you how the world works, and gives you more tools and understanding, then you're going to want to take care of it and maintain it and operate within a system like that, as opposed to the current one, which doesn't work for people. It makes us work for it. So this is the one that works for us instead, and it gives people really what they want, and they don't even maybe necessarily know what they want.
Well, I think that's actually a very good closing kind of for us here. I would just, in addition to that last part, maybe I just invite everyone to really come to these TeamSpeak meetings that we have. Try to contact us. I think the very large part of it is kind of get that community feeling and cooperation, and just meeting guys and girls from all over the world. For me, this last year, it's been really exciting because of that, and hopefully we get some more people, and well, you who are watching out there, maybe you join us as well. So yeah, for this month, I think we can say thanks everyone for posting questions. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next month, which is, let's check out the date, which is the Sunday of February 2nd. So February 2nd, and we're going to open up a Google moderator later tonight, and it's going to be open until the 26th of January. So you're welcome to post some more questions, and that's it for me.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you.
thank you guys.
See you next month.